our way out and put this darkness behind us. And underground is my oration, sound integration. But situation is we're surrounded by light negation. It's black as pitch cause we're trapped by our violent souls. In a deep mind where deep rhymes won't keep my self-control. Too many foes, we feel snake bit and we won't take it. Enemies need their face hit, we going ape shit. Hell is my confinement within
Hello,
this
ladies
mind.
and live here on the Dukect Lounge, and welcome. Hope you had a good week. I had a very good week, doing awesome in my classes. Everything seems to be going perfectly. So, what is to talk about this week? Well, there's a couple of subjects I need to get into. What is the big thing here is the WWE Extreme rules preview, the next of the pay-per-views of the WWE. And there's some stuff that's going on and all that good stuff, the Intercontinental Championship drama, which I will talk about right now, and all that good stuff. And by the way, thank you so much for joining me here live on the Dukect Lounge. Here on TalkShoe.com, and hopefully you're listening to me on YouTube, ScrewTech.com, Zipcast, Freaking Awesome Network, and Man Expression. Thank you so much for listening. Anyway, first things first. Well, if you want to call in and be, really want to interact and all that good stuff, the number, as always, is 724-444-7444. Let's get the number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Duke CT, is 92417. Once again, the call ID is 92417. All right, let us get into the preview of WWE Extreme Rules. Tag Team Championship match, pre-show. Don't care. If they really cared, they would have put this on the main event card. I'm not sure what this was on, but we start off with this one as the Red Rooster, Sheamus, takes on Dolph Ziggler, the perennial mid-carders for life, in a Kiss My Arse match. Clearly, the WWE hasn't learned from their 2002 match between Albert and Rikishi and at Insurrection. Because, hey, that was so much fun, right? I think the match would be fine just as a match. I think it'd be really fine. I think it's good because I think both of these guys have really good chemistry with each other. I think that it could be something that you would really be something to root for. Let's see. Other than that, the Kiss My Arse stuff is maybe because I'm older. Maybe because, I'm not a teenager and such. I mean, but yeah, it just seems way, way immature and such. Maybe I just think, like, you know what? Wrestling, man, that was fun in the 90s, but don't try to bring this back, please. It's really stupid. And honestly, wrestling is already full of stupid. Don't add on to it, please. Winner of the match, I predict Sheamus because honestly, I would say Sheamus because they need to have a good heel thing. He needs to actually, the comeuppance needs to come later. This right here will actually give him more heat, which he needs. He needs to build up his character. But, wouldn't be surprised if Dolph Ziggler wins, as Sheamus gives him a low blow and bro kicks him and says, hashtag, are you not entertained? Complete with hashtag. But hey, I think it'll be a good match. So Dolph wins, but Sheamus will not kiss his arse. Next up, we have the WWE Divas Championship as Nikki Bella takes on the new and improved Diva with Attitude, Naomi. I don't care. They turn one of the most interesting divas on the world heel. Someone who actually gets the crowd up, who will actually turn heel for basically no reason. I just don't really care for it. I don't care. In fact, we have Brie Bella, who was a heel, basically doing face movements in a match, which I'm like, how in the world are you doing face stuff in a match like this. It makes no daggone sense. I just don't know. Who's the face here? I don't know. They're showing the Shades of Grey crap, which makes no sense. Um, ugh, they're trying to do their best to place Page. Here's a brilliant idea, WWE. I would just have, you know, have Naomi actually win the matches. She already beat Nikki Bella twice, so why not just continue the story of Extreme Rules? Because she wasn't floundering. She got some good, decent face pops. But now as a heel, who is the face now? Paige, who I like call Gail Kim 2.0. She's just gonna just honestly, I would not be surprised. She might pull. Like I said, I just don't. I think she just got her titles way too fast. I wish she should have stayed more in NXT because I just think that she just wasn't a. Uh, I just didn't think the WWE Divas division for Paige. I don't think she was actually not ready for. I think she was ready for it, but I don't think the Divas division was ready for Paige. You know what I mean? I don't know, but as a winner of this match, I have Naomi winning because Nikki Bella doesn't really need the title anymore. It's just pointless. Because actually, the Divas thing is always, always been pointless. Divas title has always been pointless, and I just don't really care at all. Next up, we have Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper in my match of the night, which will be my match of the night. Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper in a Chicago street fight. I hope, I really, really hope that this means that Dean Ambrose will start winning because when's the last time he actually won a match with merit? I just want to know because the last time I remember him winning any matches on a pay per view would be going back. I think it was him with the Shield. Actually, he actually won a match with the Shield. I think it was at Payback of last year. I think this streak of not winning a pay per view match, I think it's almost eclipsing Ryback's streak if you remember that. So I think that Dean Ambrose should and will win here. I think Luke Harper goes away for a while. I think Dean Ambrose wins. I think he builds himself up maybe for a title shot somewhere in the future. Or building up for Money in the Bank would actually be pretty cool as well. But sadly, I wouldn't be surprised that this guy in our next match will be the ones that the people chosen. As we have our last man standing match as Roman Reigns, the chosen one, takes on the Big Show. Oh joy in the Big Show, the last man standing match. Look, I know against these two guys because I think on their own they're not that bad. Big Show, to me, I think he really found himself around 2004 and 2000. I don't think his prime was like 2004 all the way up to 2011 because dude was actually to me. I feel like he really did some really good stuff at those times. Including his great ECW heel run. I think that run is really underappreciated. Him winning the ECW title and having that great heel run. And Roman Reigns, I think he has that nice, energetic move set. I think he's actually can do some really good stuff. I feel that this man right here, Roman Reigns, can be the guy. I think that's what I feel. I believe that Roman Reigns can be the guy. Not right now. Personally, he needs a brand new theme, some new gear, new theme, new gear, and just a new catchphrase too. He's just. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Stop doing the Shield stuff. The Shield is over with. It's been over here for over a year, man. Move on. I mean, you have to move on, man. You got to move on. It's been over. You need to stop doing the Shield stick. That's one of the reasons why most people are not really liking it. I guarantee not because of your wrestling ability and such like that. It's because you still stay on a gimmick that should not. You should move on. The Shield are over with. The Brotherhood is no more. And that's my personal opinion. But hey, Roman Reigns will get the victory, and they will actually continue on. And Roman Reigns will continue on to Payback. Going to Payback. Rumors that he will face Randy Orton and Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. I miss Lesnar. Anyway, next up is the Intercontinental Championship match that may or may not happen. By the way, this match is sponsored by Raja.com. As we have Daniel Bryan taking on Bad News Barrett. As we all know, seriously, that Daniel Bryan has had some injury issues and he's been out for pretty much for about a couple weeks now. We haven't seen on Raw, haven't seen on SmackDown for a couple. I mean, last week for SmackDown, he was there in the tag match, but we haven't seen him on regular stuff for the last couple weeks now. The rumor is, boys and girls, that he might be out for 4 more weeks because he has an injury, mixed with concussions, what have you. Some say the match is going to be called off. I don't know. Who's going to win the Intercontinental Championship? I have no idea. If the match goes on and Daniel Bryan is 100%, or is he or is he not? I don't know. The match seems to be going on as we speak. I'm looking at uh, I'm looking at all this type of stuff and see, is this match going to take place? I'm looking at all these other things. It looks like it's going to take place. I don't know. A lot of people are saying, is this going to happen? Is it going to the situation? I don't know who's going to take its place. I don't know who's going to take its place at this point. If Daniel Bryan is going to be here or not. I don't know. I just don't know who's going to be, if he's going to be here or not. A lot of things are going to happen. Um, it looks like some says he's out for 5 weeks. We don't know yet. So at the end of the day, I see this is going to be a Bad News Barrett win. But if Daniel Bryan is there, did I see him keeping the championship? And by the way, and by the way, people say he's bringing honor to the Intercontinental title. I say bupkis. The Intercontinental Championship will actually be fine on anybody if they just started booking the championship right. Hell, people saw Rusev, they booked him right for the most part. They booked the U.S. Championship right on a relative newcomer. Sure, it was an old gimmick of Russia hates the U.S., what have you, but they treated it with respect. They gave him a long reign that was meaningful. The matches meant something. Everything was was meaningful. So you don't need the U.S. Championship to be on main event guys. WWE just has to start booking the Intercontinental Championship with respect and actually have these guys win and not put them in matches that they lose all the time. Instead of trying to build contenders that way, how about have them start winning one contendership matches? Have like a ranking system. Would it kill you to have something like that? That would be nice, a ranking system. They have a WWE who's hot or who's not thing on their website or what have you, a ranking system on their website. Why aren't the WWE can do that? So in the Intercontinental, like if you're in the Intercontinental division, the top 8 like top 5 contenders in the Intercontinental title division, or the top 5 contenders in the U.S. Championship. Do stuff like that. That would actually make sense. It'd be a lot more. You can build up that way. You don't need Daniel Bryan. You don't need John Cena for the U.S. Championship or what have you. You don't need these guys. But as it stands, they have to need because they think that name value will equal. Yay, we got some name value, so it's gonna work this time. Anyway, I get this. If the match happens, I see Bryan winning if he's not too hurt. Bad News Barrett is not going to win. Not going to have. If Bad News Barrett is there. Dave Bryan, I can expect he's going to do some bad news. Say Dave Bryan's not going to be there. I see Bradley Barrett walk away with the Intercontinental title 6 time, and yet still people won't care for him at all, sadly. And we have the United States Championship, a Russian chain match for that title as Rusev takes on the United States Champion John Cena. Cena wins, who cares, lol. The match will be decent, but honestly, we all know Cena's going to win. Rusev, for meanwhile, I see him actually going off and actually facing off against maybe Roman Reigns or basically Lesnar, which would be nice. But then again, not before this person faces Lesnar. As we have this steel cage match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship as the WWE Champion Seth Rollins and Randy Orton. By the way, the RKO is banned. I don't think it's banned. It's supposedly, rumor has it, that the current stop is no longer in the repertoire of Seth Rollins. Instead, he has this weak ass DDT, which just like, okay, boom, like this faceplant DDT, and a company that basically devalues the DDT. I'm serious. I mean, what makes me, when I look and say the Miz's DDT, when he does it, to me, that should be his finisher. Or when Diglett does his, like, handstand DDT, that should be like a secondary finisher. Instead of the 1, 2, and oh, it's a long 2, basically trying to move. I look at that and I was like, you just, by the way, here's the GIF. If you look at it, see, look, just look at it. It's horrible. It's really just bad, people. It's terrible. The video portion, by the way, of the podcast. If you watch it, look at it, people. Look. It's terrible. It's downright terrible. The swinging leg, the just drop face plant, and that is the way he's going to end matches now? It's terrible. It's sort of moving his repertoire, but god dang, that looks terrible. But if it is a health issue supposedly for the curve stop, then so be it. But let's find a move that is not something from the low card, please. Rather that than have him supposedly facing Kane. So Kane shouldn't even be wrestling anymore. Why is he wrestling in 2015? I just don't know. Why? But I have Randy Orton winning via... No, not Randy Orton, no. I have Seth Rollins winning via him sneaking through the cage or something, and having him sneak cage instead of getting a pinfall, which would be nice. I would actually think that would be a nice thing. Actually have win by pinfall, kind of like back in the day and everything else, like in the WCW or what have you. We used to finish matches up instead of just, we're gonna escape the cage. BS. Let's actually man up and actually fight the cage and end the cage. Really just bothers me. It just bothers me. Anyway, that's it for the preview. There's actually some good matches here. The only good match, honestly, that I can't wait to see is the Chicago Street Fight, which will be my match of the night, guaranteed. But overall, I'm not really looking forward to this pay-per-view. Nothing really. I just don't really care for it. Well, I will be watching, though. WWE Network is cheap, so, Well, anyway, we're going to take a small little break here live in the Dukect Lounge. When we return, I will be talking about a very interesting new study from the University of Missouri about video games and autism. We'll be right back here on the Dukect Lounge live on TalkShoe.com. We'll be right back right after this. live on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me, Dukect, here on TalkShoe.com. Also, if you're not aware, you can find me on YouTube. And also, not only find me on YouTube, you're also on ScreenTime.com. You can find me on Figure Out the Network. The Fan, Figure Out the Network. You can also find me on Zipcast and on ManicExpression.com, and also the forums of Cheshire Cat Studios. We're going to be posting my podcast and everything else on there, so things will be worked out. Hopefully, they will allow me to do all that crazy stuff here because, you know, I love their podcast and the forums, so I'm going to bring a little bit of a life into them. So hopefully, they won't mind me, Dukect, trying to butt in their little territory a little bit. Poke the poke. That's all. But anyway, let's get back to one of the main topics here, live here on Dukect. One of the big things I want to talk about. Let's see. There's a lot of things to talk about here live on the Dukect Lounge, and one of the big things is this study. Is this from the U.S. News World Report Health? I'll put the link in the description. It is a study that says video games don't trigger aggression in adults with autism. New research suggests that violent video games have no immediate effects on people with or without autism. Let's see. But the article is by Karen Fawcett, and here it is. Quote, politicians push for a crackdown on violent video games after speculation arose that they spurred new child shooter Adam Lanza, who had autism spectrum disorder, to commit one of the deadliest massacres in United States history, killing 26 children and educators before taking his own life. But a new study from the University of Missouri indicates that violent video games do not increase aggression in adults with autism spectrum disorder any more than they do in people without autism. We wanted to try to provide some evidence on the issue, said lead author Christopher Engelhardt, a postdoctoral fellow in the University of Missouri School of Health Sciences and the Thompson Center for Autism and Neurodevelopmental Disorders. We couldn't specifically say what triggers violence in individuals because it's not ethical to do so. But what we could do is to study the willingness to aggress following exposure to violent video games. Very interesting. They wanted to look at it, they see it, and they examined 120 young adults, 60 who had autism spectrum disorder, and 60 who showed normal neurological development. Participants played one of two versions of a violent video game. The first, which contained heightened graphic imagery, called for players to shoot aliens on a military base in space. The second game had subdued graphics and a noble mission to help creatures find their way back to their home planet. After playing the two games, participants engaged in a task for the researchers to measure aggression. They were told they were competing against another person in the trial to test their reaction times. If the individual won that challenge, he could blast their opponent with a loud noise. Researchers measured aggression levels of participants from both groups by monitoring how long and how loudly each participant blasted the defeated party. The results, experts say, were surprising, and not just because they found that short-term exposure to violent video games didn't amplify aggression in adults with autism. The more surprising finding to most researchers in this field will be that the effect of playing violent video games on the immediate aggressive behavior, aggressive thoughts, and aggressive emotions of normally developing youth was not found to be statistically significant, says Wowell Huseman. I mispronounced the name, I apologize. A professor in communication studies and psychology at the University of Michigan who was not involved in the study. Let's see. says, right here, another point right here, it says, continue with the article, it says, Eagle's study is valuable because it may help later rescue these ideas that there's a vulnerable population of people that are particularly influenced by violent video games, said Christian Ferguson, chair of the psychology development at Stetson University in Florida, who was not involved in the study. After Newtown, the case became, what about these kids who are already teetering on the edge of not understanding reality? What if violent video game put them over the edge and make them do something like Adam Lanza did? Even though Adam Lanza hadn't been playing much video games, he was playing, I think, Guitar Hero or something with DDR. I think he was playing DDR or something like that. Um, it's the same thing with these people who want to blame everything about violent video games. First, they say autism, will cause like if you play video, because I on the autism spectrum and such, you know, it just it just makes even when it shows with facts like this that if you know me and if people who listen to this podcast see me on the floor, like not only floor but see me in real life, talk to me and do all this type of stuff when I do conventions and everything else, mostly MagFest. But wherever I meet people, they say I'm nice, I'm cool. I'm not violent. I don't yell and scream. I don't punch people. I don't blame people. People will vouch for me if they see me. In fact, even my family would say I'm a nice dude for the most part. Yeah, I try to be, even though I feel like I try not to. I really do. I try really hard to be that very good person. I try really hard to, and sure I do like buying video games, but I never once thought about buying. I mean, no one's doing like say, horrible things like doing things what Adam Lanza did in my adult life. Never. And when you see these studies, and you have studies like, I think I'll put a link in the description about when you have video games don't cause sexism as well. When you have this, and then you have something from Forbes.com, and it says right here, says there's no link between gaming and sexist attitudes. I'll put that thing right there as well. And when you have these people, and I don't want to turn this to a Gamergate thing, because like I said, I am not involved in Gamergate. I don't know how this thing has lasted this long. It's like a goddamn cockroach. How does this thing continue to show up in everything here? Uh huh. Yeah, yeah. And it looks like, oh, by the way, sports little thing. DC, Washington, D.C. Looks like they're going up 3-0. Woohoo! Yes. The Washington Wizards basketball team. Look, I can't put the T thing down because, God forbid I don't want copyright stuff, you know, situations like that. So, yeah, I'm watching this on the ticker thing. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. You know, yeah, it's back to my main point. I don't want to turn this to a Gamergate thing, but I think the people who do say sexism and violence, there's some overlap there. There's no causation there. They want to blame something of an inanimate object and people things like want to say that's evil. Let's blame this thing. Let's blame it and let's be done with it. And all this type of stuff, which is proven not the case. You know, it's proven this case. It's been the same thing over and over and over again that video games not only violent but that not make you sexist. It won't make you do these things. And when you do, because I'm not saying gaming's perfect. I think there should be more female representation in games. I feel like there should be more, more diversity in games. I want to be more African American characters and such. Other than my Commander Shepard of Mass Effect series, I want to be more African American men, women, Asians, or what have you, gay, trans, whatever. To be not just in I want them to be main character. I want them to be a part of the game, not because they're that gay, trans, or black, white, or whatever, but the reason why I want them to be there because they are meaningful to that story, meaningful for the plot, meaningful. They are meaningful and they are likable characters and such. and actually bring weight and importance to the gaming in gaming in the gaming, which is something that they should be mainly something about this. They need this, and I really think gaming can be better at this. Instead of sitting around telling how gaming like we have to all this HD graphics and such, which by the way, you know, I just I really think they should be less is more. Instead of actually getting these great features and such, instead of actually focusing on gameplay, which would be nice. Um, well, there's one thing that I really wish that that you got they actually start doing. I really wish that gaming and people from that that people should actually start connecting with, because I feel what Gamergate and the people who are anti, and I understand the people that they've been throwing sticks at them, they've been doing that same stuff, but I feel like at the end of the day, it just seems that they are people who are, you know, there are things that they need to be better on. They need to have better. They need gaming can be better, better stories, better better stuff. I mean, having you know, calling someone a feminazi or anything else is not going to help anyone. And, whatever for a game, and calling and for people who are the self justice warriors and everything else, calling someone a traitor to their race, gender, or whatever, just because they disagree with you in their opinion, does not make is not right either. And I feel that when these studies come out, and I'll put links in the description. When these things come out, and more often than not, when they do, you know what happens? It doesn't matter if these things do come out. It's because you know, and everything else. You still have these misinformed people like Anita Sarkeesian, making these non-factual points, and just with these inane arguments, this stuff doesn't really help or change or anything. And how she's not really she doesn't really help the conversation. She just says everything's racist, everything is sexist. Nothing. When you say stuff like that, how are you going to be an agent of change when you say everything's racist, everything is sexist, and everything everyone's out to get you? You sound more like a crazy. You sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist, and what have you. But that's just my personal opinion. But when I look at these studies, I'm hopeful. I really am hopeful that that they're just like, what, let's see if we can fix these problems. Let's see if we can start fixing what gaming can be, instead of just saying what gaming's not and everything else. When studies like this, when they are saying that supposedly when buying video games do not, and when this says right here. But at the end of the day, the study demonstrates, this is a quote from the article, which I think that it'll be followed. This should be plastered. This should be plastered right here at anyone else. I want this to be plastered right there. From Patrick Malarkey. And this, when he says this is not Malarkey. He says, well, here. But at the end of the day, the study demonstrates that buying video games do not cause real world problems. Right there. Right there, that statement right there, and that is 100% truth. And hopefully we can actually start looking at that truth, ladies and gentlemen. And I think the world will be a lot better place when they start doing that. And hopefully, people who have autism, whatever spectrum they are, they won't look like evil. People who are gamers are not to say that they're not sexist or bullying pigs who barely are anything else. Or people who like gaming or whatever, or are race traders or sock puppets or anything else. But gamers that do want to see diversity, I guarantee majority of gamers do want to see diversity. They do want to have multiple people who are stand up and such. They do. But I think until this whole thing when responsible people need to be starting through this debate. They need to have someone who is responsible and actually start say, okay, let's just actually start actually hammering out solutions, real solutions that most people, we're not all going to 100% agree on, but just basic tenets or something that say, yeah, let's see if we can fix these problems. Let's see if we can fix these problems. Let's see if we can do it, boys and girls. Let's see if we can do it. But that's, personally, that's what I want. Real solutions, not these half-assed ones, and not people who want to sit up there and talk about, making themselves sound like, making themselves seem good, instead of actually not bringing much into discussion. That sort of thing. But that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to the Dukect Lounge. As I, a internet nobody, just did a lot of bit of soapboxing as well, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and being a part of it. Comment below. Let me know if I did anything right, wrong, or basically don't want to. If I start any fires, please tell me how I can put them out, or if I need to, just pour more gasoline on them. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. This is Dukect here. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.